You're hungry. You want steak. Not just any steak. You want that juicy, seared, mouth-watering masterpiece that makes you close your eyes after the first bite. The kind of steak that sizzles when it hits the table and makes the whole room smell like victory. But here's the hard truth. In 2025, ordering steak at a chain restaurant is basically food roulette. And too often, it's Russian roulette for your taste buds, your wallet, and occasionally your digestive system. Because while a few restaurants are still out there treating beef like a sacred ritual, others are slapping grill marks on rubber and calling it gourmet. The result? Dry slabs of disappointment, frozen regrets, and sauces trying to hide the shame. So today, we're doing what no menu ever dares to do, telling the truth. These are the 6 chain restaurants where ordering steak is a mistake, where flavor goes to die, where cows lived noble lives, only to be dishonored by microwave mishandling and sodium overload. Number 1. Applebee's, where steak dreams go to die. Applebee's wants you to believe it's your cozy neighborhood grill, the place for birthdays, game nights, and casual dinners. But order a steak here, and it's less neighborhood gathering and more last meal before the apocalypse. Let's talk about the beef. USDA Select. Sounds official, right? But here's the thing. That's the lowest grade of steak legally allowed for retail. It's 1 step above pet food and 3 steps below should have stayed a cow. The flavor? Imagine a waterlogged sponge dipped in Worcestershire sauce and slapped on a grill by someone who's never cooked a real steak in their life. One diner described it as a gray, rubbery slab of sadness. Another said, I had to check if I accidentally ordered the shoe leather platter. Even when they rolled out wood-fired grills and hand-cut options back in 2016, it was like putting lipstick on a brisket. The steak was still under-seasoned, unevenly cooked, and so tough it could survive a tornado. And the plating? It's like a crime scene. Mashed potatoes sliding off the plate like they're trying to escape, a sad puddle of gravy clinging to undercooked broccoli, and a steak that looks like it lost a fight with a microwave. Applebee's doesn't serve steak. They serve steak-shaped warnings. Number 2. Chili's. Medium rare? More like medium regret. Chili's has personality. The sizzling fajitas, the flashy cocktails, the baby back rib anthem stuck in your head for a decade. But you know what it doesn't have? A clue how to cook steak. They claim to serve USDA choice cuts, but the reality is more like, surprise! We cooked it last week. 1 bite, and you'll swear the cow died twice. The inconsistency is legendary. Ask for medium rare? You might get well done. Ask for well done? You might get a cold, raw interior that's still whispering moo. One diner on Reddit said, my steak was black on the outside and blue on the inside. It was like biting into a steak-flavored lava cake. Another person wrote, the only rare thing about my steak was the chance it was edible. And it's not just customers who are calling it out. Even Chili's themselves know they've got a steak situation. In 2023, their CEO admitted the chain was bleeding millions because of poor steak execution. That's not just bad service. That's corporate-level carnivore failure. Throw in sticky menus, overworked staff, and an atmosphere that screams 1999 prom night at a sports bar, and it's a recipe for regret. When your steak needs sauce just to be chewable, it's not a meal, it's a mistake. Number 3. Outback Steakhouse, blooming disappointment. Ah, Outback, the home of the blooming onion, crocodile-themed branding, and allegedly Aussie-inspired steaks. But if this is how Australians eat beef, someone call the embassy. Outback's steak game used to be decent. Back in the early 2000s, you could get a decent sirloin and feel good about it. Now? Not so much. Their USDA choice beef sounds fine on paper, until it hits your plate looking like it just got back from a week-long road trip under a car seat. The main issue? Texture, tough, stringy, overcooked. Imagine trying to bite through an old flip-flop, but saltier. And the seasoning? Oh, they season it all right, with a heavy hand and no mercy. Every steak tastes like it fell into a vat of Cajun rub and got rescued by someone who confused searing with scorching. Even loyal fans are starting to speak up. One TripAdvisor user titled their review, "Blooming Onion? More like blooming mistake." Another said, "The steak was dry, overcooked, and had the emotional range of a Rice Krispie treat." Let's not forget that Outback has quietly closed dozens of locations in recent years. Coincidence? Or just a natural consequence of steaks that make people nostalgic for gas station jerky? Outback isn't down under, it's just down bad. Number 4. Golden Corral. All you can eat, but should you? Golden Corral wants to be your happy place. Unlimited food. Endless choices. A buffet so big it feels like you're wandering through a poorly lit food court in purgatory. But when it comes to steak, this place isn't golden. It's gone. The so-called steak here is mass-produced, over-marinated, and then tossed onto a hot, flat-top griddle until it's reached peak sadness. It's not grilled. It's exiled. Then, it sits under a heat lamp for hours like it's being punished for past culinary sins. Imagine this. You pick up a slice, it flops over your fork like a wet sock and tastes like salt, sadness, and burnt grill oil. One guest described the texture as beef jerky that failed its driving test. And we haven't even gotten to the sanitation side of the horror movie. In October 2024, a Golden Corral location in Ohio failed its health inspection with flying mold colors. Broken dish sanitizer? Check. Moldy ice machine? Absolutely. Pest control so bad, even the rats left a bad Yelp review. Buffets are notoriously difficult to maintain, but Golden Corral seems to have taken that as a challenge. Like, how bad can we let it get before someone calls the CDC? You don't go to Golden Corral for the steak. You go to Golden Corral despite the steak. And then you quietly regret your choices over a bowl of soft serve. Number 5. Texas Roadhouse. Country music, cinnamon rolls, and steak that misses the mark. Texas Roadhouse is loud, like really loud. Between the line dancing servers, blaring country hits, and peanut shells crunching under your boots, it's basically a honky-tonk with a meat problem. They boast about their hand-cut USDA choice steaks, and to be fair, sometimes they're decent. But other times, you'd swear the grill master was just guessing. One minute, you're getting a beautifully charred ribeye. The next, it's dry, gray, and seasoned like the chef spilled an entire salt shaker and just rolled with it. The inconsistency is what kills the vibe. Well, that and the fact that trying to enjoy a peaceful steak dinner while someone's doing the boot-scootin' boogie in the aisle is just exhausting. And let's talk texture. A good steak should yield under your fork, not fight back like it's auditioning for a Rocky sequel. More than a few guests have reported leaving with sore jaws and deep regret. The cinnamon butter rolls? Yes, they slap. But if the highlight of your steakhouse experience is the free bread, that's a red flag wrapped in carbs. Texas Roadhouse has energy, personality, and charm. But if they spent half as much time training grill cooks as they do choreographing dance routines, we might have something worth chewing on. Number 6. Dishonorable mention. Olive Garden. Pasta people, please stop touching steak. Look, we get it. Olive Garden is known for breadsticks, pasta, and that eternal promise of never-ending salad. But someone in corporate decided to add steak to the menu, and that someone needs to answer for their crimes. This isn't steak. It's a frozen, pre-cut hunk of beef that gets nuked, seared, and sent out looking like it's already lived through a natural disaster. The flavor? Non existent. The texture? Somewhere between gym mat and regret. One customer described it as the culinary equivalent of a bad Tinder date. It looked okay in the picture, but by the second bite, I was plotting my escape. Even Olive Garden staff have reportedly warned diners not to order it. That's right. When the people being paid to serve the steak are telling you to skip it, it's time to listen. And the presentation? The steak sits next to a pile of overcooked fettuccine like it showed up to the wrong party and no one had the heart to send it home. It's uncomfortable, it's sad, and it makes you question everything. Steak at Olive Garden is proof that just because you can doesn't mean you should. You survived the steak apocalypse. You've seen what happens when good beef ends up in bad hands. From buffet nightmares to dry, overcooked disappointments pretending to be dinner. But now, it's time for redemption. Because despite the carnage, there are still steak chains out there doing it right. Places where the grill is hot, the sear is crisp, the marbling is rich, and the flavor? Downright spiritual. These are the restaurants where the cow is honored, not humiliated. So sharpen your knives and cancel your mediocre dinner plans. These are the first three of the best steak chains in America. Number 1. Longhorn Steakhouse, the casual king of consistency. Let's be honest, Longhorn doesn't try to be flashy. No gimmicks, no dancing waitstaff, no weird lighting or dry ice theatrics. Just solid, honest steak that doesn't taste like it lost a bar fight with the microwave. Their secret? USDA choice beef that's never frozen and always hand-cut. Add to that a group of specially trained grill masters who treat searing like an Olympic sport. These aren't bored teens with tongs. These are professionals who know exactly how long that 12-ounce ribeye needs to hit medium rare nirvana. Their seasoning? Bold and balanced. Their crust? Perfection. Their internal temp? Nailed. Almost every time. From the Flo's filet to the outlaw ribeye, Longhorn brings steakhouse quality without steakhouse pretension. Or prices. One longtime customer said it best. It's the only place I can trust to hit medium rare better than I can do at home. And I own a meat thermometer. The vibe? Relaxed? Casual? You're not paying for chandeliers or white glove service. You're paying for a steak that's actually worth every bite. In a world of overpriced disappointment, Longhorn is the rare chain that underpromises and overdelivers. Every single time. Number 2, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Sizzle, swagger, and USDA Prime. Ruth's Chris doesn't play. They don't need to. This is the gold standard for high-end chain steakhouses. You walk in, and it smells like confidence and clarified butter. Their steaks are USDA Prime. Only the top 2 to 3% of beef in America makes the cut. And the magic? Every one is broiled at 1800 degrees Fahrenheit and served sizzling on a 500-degree plate. That's not marketing. That's a culinary power move. The sound alone, that hiss of beef hitting molten porcelain, is enough to make grown adults cry. The flavor? Deep, rich, almost buttery. The kind of steak that makes you look across the table and say, "Don't talk, just chew." Consistency is Ruth's secret weapon. You can walk into one of their locations in Vegas, New Orleans, or Boise and get the exact same perfect ribeye. Why? Because they don't cut corners, they cut steaks. And it's not just the meat. The service is sharp, the wine list is stacked, the sides are sinful. It's steakhouse luxury without the attitude. Ruth's Chris doesn't need to shout. Their steak does the talking. Number 3, the Capitol Grill, dry-aged royalty. If Ruth's Chris is the king, the Capitol Grill is the prime minister. Smooth, polished, and in total control. Here's what sets them apart. In-house dry aging. That's right. Many of their steaks are aged on site for 18 to 24 days in temperature-controlled meat lockers. This is old-school steak science, and it shows. The result? Intensely beefy, perfectly tender cuts that explode with umami. Their bone-in ribeye? Legendary. Their dry-aged New York strip? Criminally underrated. But Capital Grille isn't just meat magic, it's the full experience. Leather booths, candlelight, servers who actually know what they're talking about. You want a Malbec that pairs with your porterhouse? They've got it. And 5 backups. And then there's the consistency. Doesn't matter if you're in Boston or LA, Capital Grille delivers top-tier quality with fine dining finesse. It's the place where deals are closed, anniversaries are celebrated, and carnivores ascend. The Capital Grille isn't trying to impress you with smoke and mirrors. They impress you with dry-aged beef, perfect execution, and confidence that doesn't need a slogan. Number 4. Fogo de Chão, the endless meat parade you'll dream about. Fogo de Chão isn't a steakhouse, it's a spectacle. A Brazilian churrascaria where gaucho chefs slice fire-roasted meat straight onto your plate until you beg them to stop. But don't mistake theatrics for filler. The meat at Fogo is the real star. Picanha, top sirloin cap, filet mignon, ribeye, lamb, pork loin crusted with parmesan, all grilled over open flame, all carved tableside, all ridiculously juicy. It's all you can eat, but it doesn't taste like a buffet. That's the trick. Fogo sources high-quality cuts, many from domestic Wagyu or responsibly raised herds. Their gauchos aren't just performers, they're meat technicians. They know their doneness levels, they know their angles, and they will make you cancel your next meal. Want a pro tip? Flip your card to red before you hit the salad bar. That thing is a trap, a beautiful, fresh, gourmet trap. But this isn't a kale night. This is meat night. Add in a deep wine list, artisan cheese pairings, and caipirinhas that sneak up on you like samba ninjas, and Fogo becomes more than a meal. It's a carnivorous rite of passage. Come hungry, leave emotional. Number 5. Morton's the Steakhouse. Classic, clean, and completely unapologetic. Morton's doesn't chase trends. Morton's is the trend. The old-school, white tablecloth kind. When you walk into Morton's, you're not here for cute branding or neon Instagram moments. You're here for steak, period. Their USDA prime beef is aged 23 to 28 days to deepen flavor and tenderize every bite. The New York strip, bold and beefy. The bone-in ribeye, practically a religious experience. The filet, cuts like butter and tastes like velvet. What sets Morton's apart isn't just quality, it's execution. Every steak is broiled at blazing temps for that signature crust, then finished with a buttery flourish that seals the deal. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just steak done right by people who respect the cow. Service? Polished. Sides? Indulgent. Ambiance? Timeless. You're here for prime cuts, smart wines, and silence between bites because everyone's too busy enjoying themselves. Morton's doesn't need to flex. They just serve steak the way it should be, unapologetically elite. Number 6. Fleming's Prime Steakhouse and Wine Bar, the quiet overachiever. Fleming's is the steakhouse most people forget until they try it. Then they never shut up about it. Think USDA prime beef, seared at 1,600 degrees Fahrenheit, finished with a proprietary spice blend, and plated with the confidence of a place that knows exactly what it's doing. From 20-ounce bone-in ribeyes to buttery filet medallions topped with truffle-poached lobster, Fleming's doesn't just serve great steak, it customizes greatness. Want a blue cheese crust? Do it. Prefer your steak finished with a drizzle of Cabernet Demi? You got it. The wine list is award-winning. The sides are rich without being ridiculous. Hello, chipotle mac and cheese. And the staff? Friendly without being fake. Fleming's walks that perfect line between upscale and unpretentious. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but make no mistake, this is steak for grown-ups. For people who care about flavor, texture, and that moment when the knife slides through with zero resistance. Fleming's might not have the biggest brand, but if you know, you know. And now, you know. 6 down, 0 regrets. In a world full of steak disasters and marketing over substance, these are the places keeping it real, juicy, and worth every dollar. Now it's your turn. Hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite spot, and don't forget to subscribe. Because Frugal Pro is just getting started. We test it, we taste it, we tell it like it is. Until next time, eat smart, spend smarter, and stay frugal, my friends.